Board meeting. Good morning, everyone. The time being 9:05 on Thursday, December 4th, we will start the Plumbing Advisory Board meeting for the month of December. Board members, when I call your name, please signify by saying present. Mike Bellata, Michelle Brisbane, Dave Hoffmeister,
Present.
Mike Ingram,
Present.
Brian Gilbert,
Present.
Shane McNulty,
Present.
Sarah Poindexter, Bill Dobbins, and let the record show that the chairman is present and accounted for. Let the record show that there is a quorum present for today's meeting. Item number 4, the agenda, approval of today's agenda for December 4th.
Motion.
Second.
Motion on the floor and seconded to approve today's agenda. Any other questions or comments on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries. Item number 6 of the agenda, approval of the minutes of November 6th, 2025 board meeting and hearing. They were emailed to everyone on the 28th for review and comment. None received.
Motion to approve.
So motion on the floor and seconded to approve the minutes of November 6th, 2025. Any other questions or comments on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries. Item number 6, open discussion. I think we'll go off recording now, Gab, please. Morning, Mr. Kelly. Could you show us on record, please?
Yes, Chair.
Turn it on to speak.
Andre, do you want to share plans on the screen? Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes. Who's back there? Hey, Matt, are you able to, can you reach out to spin that or no?
We can see it. Well, it'll come up here.
I don't have it up there.
You're not on Zoom?
Yeah, yeah, but I'm on the exhibits. Uh-oh. Oh, now you did it, Matt.
Share.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Today being December 4th, 2025, we are hearing case number MI 2025007-349 for 3144 West Passyunk Avenue. I'd like to explain a little bit about how we're going to conduct the proceedings today. When we get through all of the particulars, we will allow the appellate team as much time as you need to explain the nature of your appeal, the reason for your appeal, and any other information you'd like to share with the board. When you have completed that, we will, one at a time, the board members will ask some questions of your team. When that is done, we'll afford you even some more time if you have any additional comments before we go in and deliberate. So we will afford you all the time that you need to present your case. Right now, when someone comes up to testify, please state your name, the spelling of your name for the court reporter. Right now, everybody that's going to be testifying, please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Board members, prior to today, has any board member discussed any information in whole or in part with the appellate or anyone directly or indirectly connected with this case? Mike Bellata,
No.
Dave Hoffmeister,
No.
Mike Ingram,
No.
Brian Gilbert,
No.
Sarah Poindexter.
No.
And let the record show that the chairman did have a discussion with one of the appellates, but it was not directed with regard to this case. The appellate and I talk quite often, and there was no ex parte communication that took place. All right. I'm sorry for I'm fighting a little cold here. I apologize for my voice. But thank you for coming in to see us and welcome. And thank you for your exhibits. In the future, this board likes to see all the exhibits be filed at maximum the Tuesday before a hearing, because we're one of the most technical boards that L&I has. And we do things a little bit different than some other boards where we actually take the time to look at all the exhibits, look at the code sections. This way we can make the hearings more effective and efficient.
Great.
So
Apologies for that. I think we were 24 hours, so
that,
we
that,
will.
that, that's
in the
fine.
future, We'll make sure we have it sooner.
I appreciate that.
This is the
Um,
reporter. Could I ask who was speaking, please?
Hercules Grigos, counsel for the appellate.
Thank you, sir.
With that, Herc, if you would like to begin, again, state your name and spelling for the court reporter, and start whenever you feel like.
Great, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Hercules Grigos, Claire Harrison, Hercules, last name Grigos. I'm here representing Bellwether District Holdings, owner of 3144 West Passyunk Ave. We're here today, actually excited to be here today because I'm sure everyone knows the Bellwether District and the HRP group and Bellwether Holdings have been working really hard, and we're excited to announce, it will be formally announced shortly, but a new tenant. And we have a zoning permit for a 1.4 million square, approximately 1.4 million square foot building. It's going to be occupied by Drink Pack, which is a manufactured canner of drinks and the like. So it's an exciting moment for the Bellwether District, an exciting moment for Philadelphia to move this project forward. I have with me today Holly Schroeder, Vice President from Drink Pack, Dan King, Architect of Record from Meyer Design, Connor Lamb, Project Manager, Arco National Construction, and Blake Rowan from HRP, Bellwether District Holdings, as well as my colleague, Andrea Solomon. As I said, we're moving forward and constructing a 1.4 million square foot building. Build out will consist of 2 production lines. I'm going to go into the interior. But essentially, building is laid out like a typical warehouse, just size-wise. However, it's the use occupancies are a little bit different. You know, we have about 70% of the building is S1 storage, 27% F1 factory industrial, 1% business office, and less than 1% assembly and food. We're here today because the code, based on the size of the building, the code contemplates about 6,000 plus workers on the building, when in reality, the total number of workers per any shift is about 67 to 72 people. So it's really about a 1% of occupancy based on Drink Pack's experience. And I'll turn it over to Holly in a few minutes just to like orient everybody with the uses and what's happening in the building. But as a result, we're seeking a variance to reduce the number of fixtures, which we think is consistent with what the occupancy will be. And we're proposing about 40 to 44% of the fixture requirements, even though we're only 1% of the occupancy. Additionally, the travel distances where the property will be occupied, we believe that we meet everything except in the upper left corner, which is where we load the trucks, which is all forklift operations. So no one is actually stationed there. They're on machines and on forklifts. So to the forklift parking, to the fixtures, is much less than 500 feet, but at the maximum, I believe that's 700 feet and change. And I think the exact numbers are on the plan, but those are the two variances we are seeking. I note that, the new plumbing code contemplates some deference on this travel distance for S uses. But if I can, I'll try to orient everybody with the plans, or I can have Holly testify, whatever is better. But Andre, you want to start at the top right, and we'll just work our way through so everyone understands, maybe zoom in a little bit. Let's start the other side. We'll work our way. So top right is office space, where we, area E, where we anticipate about 30 office workers at maximum capacity. As you move plan left, you move to the production lines, and those numbers, you see the number 8 and the 2 number 4s. Those are what the shift workers are, per shift. And Holly, if you want to give the specifics on them, but that's basically 16 workers there. And as you go left, stuff comes off the production lines, and then everything plan left, area B, A, K, and J, that is all robotic storage. So that's really not occupied by anyone. It's very high tech robotic storage. And then the area in light blue, that's the outbound forklift. So that is where product comes out of the robotic storage onto forklifts and into trucks for distribution. That is the area where we believe we have seek the variance of the 713-foot travel distance, which will be occupied by workers, but on forklifts. If that makes sense.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that travel distance for the record?
713 feet
Okay,
shown there.
and that
Everything planned south is, no one occupies it. It's all mechanical storage and.
So that's what you're considering your maximum travel distance?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so, intuitively, you could say, well, if you go diagonal all the way to the area of K, it's much longer than that. However, that's not occupied by anybody. That is all, mechanical racking and storage. And Holly, if you want to come up and explain it, if that's helpful, just state your name, Holly.
Good morning. Holly Schroeder, HOLLY-SCHROEDER. I'm Vice President of External Affairs with DrinkPack. Thanks for taking the time with us this morning. So yes, we're a canned beverage manufacturer using very high speed, high tech technology forward production lines. So in the area there, in the sort of light blue, the robotic forklifts would stage the material for outbounds to our customers. But then we currently contemplate using human-driven forklifts to load onto the tractor trailers prior to distribution. So really, it's just in that vicinity right in front of the dock doors where humans would be on forklifts. And then when they go to break or the end of their shift, they would go and they would park the forklift for charging. We are going to stage the charging station near the break room where there are adequate facilities and break facilities for our workers.
And Holly, you just want to,
Anything else?
you just want to, Andre, going to move the plan, right? But just explain what's happening in the area.
As Herc mentioned, in the orange area, that is our office area. It's also where the break room is. And so we will have Monday to Friday, daytime workers predominantly in that area. As you go into the light purple, that is sort of our process area. That's where we're doing batching and also our laboratory. So we're doing product testing to make sure that it is consistent with our customers' specifications as we're a contract manufacturer. And then the purple, blue, and green are our actual production lines where we have on each shift, we will have workers stationed to make sure that all parts of the equipment are running properly to diagnose any issues that arise and resolve those. So those are areas where employees will be stationed. We run a 12-hour shift sequence, 2 days on, 2 days off, 3 days on, and then alternate 3-2-2. So, so the maximum number of employees that we would typically have on any given shift is 37, plus of course the office employees. Down in the bottom right, plan bottom right is the pink area. That is where our inbound empty cans, we don't produce cans, we only fill the cans. So the inbound cans come in from aluminum can producers, and that is similarly, those folks are on forklifts. They will take cans off of the tractor trailers that come in, and then those, once staged, they will be robotically stored for inventory control. So again, all of the workers in that area are on forklifts, able to move around the facility. But we generally like to have, and is recommended by the manufacturer of the robotics, that you keep people and the robots away from each other, and for everybody's safety and for smooth operation of the robotics.
Holly, and just in area G, that is if we're successful and we do a future build out, that would be another, what, 16 potential workers?
Yes, likely 16 potential workers per shift. What is shown on the screen is our first phase, which contemplates 174 employees total. We are optimistic that we will quickly and hopefully very quickly add additional lines, bring on additional workers, and have more production out of this facility. But there's no specific timelines for that. But there is space in that area G for 2 additional production lines that we would have workers for.
And our
Shift.
expectation is that we would file for a new permit at that point, and we believe that there will be sanitary run throughout the building, that we can add additional fixtures if necessary for those. I guess we can decide at that point if we think 16 additional workers requires additional fixtures, but if we think we do, we have the space. So that.
Could you anticipate the amount of employees for the expansion?
I believe it's 16 more.
It would
correct?
likely be,
16.
another 8 per line. And we would likely do that in 2 phases. We would install 1 line at a time, based on our experience. And so, but we don't have any specifics on timeline of that at this time.
So we'd be marginal increase based on the code, but still, if we went to 1 point whatever
So
percent.
of course, that could possibly impact the travel distance that we're looking at now. But your look ahead suggestion would be to add additional fixtures if required.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I'm just looking at it, it's about 491 from those restrooms in the top right in the red. The restroom above area D looks a little bit closer. I don't know, but I'm not exactly sure what the try. I guess you have to go around the lines. So we'd have to figure out
The
what
top
that
right
is.
is the office, and
Correct.
I would, pardon me, I'm sorry, I
That's-
apologize, but I wouldn't assume that you would want production people into the office bathrooms.
Yeah, so there will be both bathrooms for office employees, and then also that is, our break room and where we have our, lockers for our workers. So there will be there'll be facilities there for the folks who are on the line, so that they have adequate facilities when they're on break.
So there are facilities for the production workers in that red area that's contemplated. So it's both. But I think at the future, we could review that travel distance and make sure that we're compliant. But I think from a fixture number, I believe we're in the ballpark of the percentages. I think 16 workers is not so I guess a marginal increase. Well, you'll tell me if it's in the ballpark or not, but it's a marginal increase of based on the 6,000. Additionally, I'll just say that because it is we are running the lines, we think there's adequate space that 20, 30 years from now, if this building is converted to a higher occupancy, we would have to do a new fit out, new permits, and at that point we would need to comply. And I think the sanitary is in there to make sure that we can comply, just in the future. So we're not doing anything that can't be, modified in the future. Yeah. I have Dan King here, who's the architect of record, that can answer any questions. And I also have, like I said, Blake Rowan and Connor Lamb, the builder and developer. But that essentially concludes our testimony unless you have more questions or if there are more things that we can answer. I'll just note that I believe the code does contemplate in S uses some deference on this. So we are trying to make that case that I think the code does contemplate this. Admittedly, I'm not a building code expert, so I defer to you. But I'll
We're not
happily-
building code experts either. We're plumbing.
code expert. I'm neither, but I'll talk zoning anytime with
Building code
anybody.
experts, fantastic.
That's right. I'll talk zoning anytime, but so I defer to experts on the technical codes.
All right, well, then, what we'll do is we'll proceed with some questions then with that. And I'll call on the board members one at a time, to ask you some questions. I usually begin with myself. Good morning, and again, thanks for coming. I'm Walt Krasnowski. I'm the Chair of the Plumbing Advisory Board. I don't have a whole lot of questions. You covered, a lot of the answers that I had with your testimony. There's only a few items that I would ask you to please take under advisement. And that is on the design team. If you look at code section P 403.2, exception 6, urinals are not permitted in toilet rooms that are designed for all genders. That's just the design thing. This is only a preliminary review. Once it gets to L&I, I'm sure they'll pick up on that, but I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. The second thing is, thank you for testifying, for the potential expansion. I would just say to make sure that you allow underground sanitary, to make that a viable option should that take place. With that, we'll go around the board. Mike Bellotta.
Hi, just a couple quick questions. So in the areas that are robotic, are humans allowed in those areas?
They're generally they're
They're
restricted.
restricted? Is there a time of day or a time of week that they walk around for maintenance?
No, it is product storage. The robotic forklifts have a station where they go to charge, and any maintenance that was required would be in that designated area, which would be close to the lines,
Okay.
would be where those would be.
Is the space conditioned at all?
It is, I'm gonna need, the shell is conditioned, Blake can probably speak to the exact terms of that.
Minimally, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Just for-
it's the basic conditioning, and the product actually serves as the machines serve actually as, like, they warm and then the product actually cools.
Okay.
So they sort of neutralize each other.
But that equipment's on the roof. Nothing's, okay. That was all I had.
HVAC is on the roof.
Everything's on
Yes,
the roof. Yep. Okay. No drains running around the area in the robotics area for spills of any kind. Just nobody's out there cleaning drains or.
Not in the storage area. There will be drains under the equipment, of course.
Yeah, in the equipment
in the
areas. Yep.
Production area, but and in the process rooms, but not in the storage areas.
Okay, that was it. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah Poindexter.
Yes, good morning. Looking at the zoning plan, it looks like 857 parking spaces are required, but 957 are proposed. Why so much parking?
Now it's my turn. Zoning code. Zoning code requires one space for every 800 square feet. So in the desire to get this permitted and moving, we designed it as compliant. We've actually had discussions of coming back and seeking a variance to not have to build all that parking because it's significant. However, Drink Pack has a quick timeline. As you know, all these projects, everyone's in a hurry. So we designed the project to meet the zoning code, and the hope is, the finishing of the parking is probably the last piece. So we may come back and seek a variance to reduce the parking because it's a 1 for 800 square foot of manufacturing industrial, and it's 1 for 2,000 square feet for the warehouse.
But you're exceeding by 100 spaces from the required. Is that intentional? Or maybe it was
I thought we were right on.
Not a big deal. It
Yeah,
Sounds
I-
like you're gonna try to reduce parking. It
Yeah,
seems Like a very, a lot of parking. for-
And the thing may be that sometimes the truck parking is considered, the trailer parking is not differentiated between trailer parking and regular parking, but
Okay.
I have to blow it up and I can't read my zoning,
yeah.
my zoning chart, so.
Okay, just want to make sure that the parking doesn't reflect the occupancy.
It does not. I think it's code based.
Thanks.
Is that it, sir? Thank you. Bill Dobbins? Michelle Brisbane? Mike Ingram?
Can you bring your colorful drawing up, showing the sections?
I'm sorry, this is the reporter. I'm having difficulty hearing.
Oh, sorry about that. Thank you. Michael Ingram. Okay, the robotic area. We take note to robots and humans with great distance. In the empirical world, that's so, but if humans go in there, regardless their capacity or their title, if they had a need, how far is the closest to the facility to that area that he or she can go in to take care of business? The robotic area?
Yeah, so the robotic areas are A, B, K, and J, as well as F.
All right, so if a human enters that area, we know it's robotics, but it has to be service and things go on in there. If that individual have a need, how far does he have to travel to get to a facility?
Do you have a sense of what that from K to?
It looks like,
Commissioner, you're gonna make us do the Pythagorean theorem today?
it looks like the 710 foot
Yeah,
is the number.
The building depth is 630, I believe.
Yeah, so the access would be, it's about 700 and change to get to where it says area A, and then the building deck is a depth is about 630 feet total, so A squared times B squared, but I would say it around 1,000 feet is my to the furthest corner. However, it's gonna be, I guess maybe if there's a breakdown, a maintenance person or construction, but there's is not designed to be occupied by humans at all, but it's about 1,000 feet, I would guess, plus or
you.
minus.
Thanks, Mike. Brian Gilbert?
Good morning. I have to say, you have answered quite a few of my questions already. Mike didn't help me out either. I do apologize. I've only got to see this drawing this morning. My questions were about Area G. If your Area G is going to be a robotic, because it states here on your plan, it's going to be robotic, empty can storage, or robotic lines, but you say it may be production.
In the future, it is in Area G where we would add additional lines. And again, we would need to come in for additional permits.
Okay, and additional permits and
process that.
even though a straight line may be roughly 500 feet to your bathroom, you would want to conceivably walk around the production plant. So that's going to,
We have crossovers on a lot of the lines, but the exact placement of those has not been finalized. So we would certainly, at the time we added lines, we would need to
Okay.
make sure that there is appropriate
you're-
access.
in the initial design, you're going to add potential growth for your sanitary system.
Yes, so because it's a production facility and we need to have lots of, lots of plumbing as it is, but we talked about this and make sure that we've contemplated having the sanitary lines, lay all of the, you guys know this, but I mean, as explained, all the water comes from above, and the sanitary will be, so it'll be placed, during construction of the foundations and slabs, so we have the sanitary in. So contemplating not just this expansion, but even future change of use, the sanitary lines should be in to accommodate additional fixtures.
Okay, and I realize this is not a plumbing permit application, but I wouldn't feel right if I didn't ask about, since you, in your, you do label semi-hazardous materials, right, a low hazard.
Yes,
Are you putting in or planning on emergency showers, emergency eye wash stations
We will have IWAS stations located around the facility. I don't
Okay,
have
so-
the exact locations of those that
I-
they haven't
I
identified yet, but
Completely understood. You're
Yeah,
way,
yeah, so
you're
our
way
existing
early for
operations
that.
have it.
You're asking for fixture permit. I need to know that you're.
We're going to
planning
be,
on-
we're going to be a little out of sequence on this in terms of just because of the speed of trying to get in the ground and meet their deadline and make sure that we can get our tenants. So we don't have a full build out set. We knew that we were going to seek this. And I can't promise we won't be back for something else if it comes up. So we appreciate the deference, but we will have a full design hopefully sooner rather than later. But we moved to a preliminary plan review to address this issue so we can proceed with foundations and under slab and those concepts.
Okay, now the robotic areas are not meant for continuous human work. There will inevitably be maintenance and all. I understand that. Do you meet the requirements for lighting and path of egress for life safety in those areas, or are they gonna be dimly lit? Maybe potentially. You meet all.
State your name.
Yeah, sorry. Daniel King. Daniel King, King. But we did do a thorough code analysis. We do meet all the travel distances for means of egress. In and around, what is being proposed today. But from those furthest corners, we have more than adequate exits and we're well under travel distances.
Okay, and I have one more question only because food is listed as one of the occupancies. Is there food production?
It's beverage production.
No, I apologize. Food is listed in your first occupancy. I'm assuming it's a cafeteria. Is that just tables and microwaves, or is there
in the
in the office?
It's
I-
the upstairs,
occupancy
yeah,
in
the
two.
break room, there would be microwaves, refrigerators for people to bring their
So
dishes,
essentially
et cetera, but it's and vending
No,
machines.
vending. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I have no further questions.
No, just to clarify, no preparation of food.
Only by the individual employees to heat their lunch.
All right.
Yes, the answer is yeah, no preparation of food.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Shane McNulty,
No questions.
Dave Hoffmeister.
Good morning. Has Drink Pack signed a lease?
Believes. Well,
We have, and there is an announcement pending on next week. I would like to make a public announcement in partnership with the governor's office, which is pending next week.
Okay, and
And we'll all be invited, right?
So sorry for being coy. This was probably announced prematurely in a publication.
We
So,
and how long is the lease for?
Okay, it's okay to say, 15 years.
15. No more questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. I do have a couple follow-ups, if I may. Does Drink Pack have any other facilities around the country?
We do. We are headquartered in Southern California, where we have a production facility with 3 production lines and a robotic rebacking line. And then we have just opened in the past 2 months a facility in Fort Worth, Texas. Also 1.4 million square foot facility there. And this will be our first East Coast operation. We're very excited.
So it'll be basically the same size as this one, so you already have that modeling done for Texas. So you already have a leg up. My final, yeah, I apologize. My final question. You, in your letters and in your request and your testimony, you specify that there'll be approximately 148 people in the building per shift. Is that correct?
no, it's 148 total employees. It's about 67 to 70 per shift. That was
67, all right, 67.
If I may clarify, so and of the workers that are on shift, which are the ones in the non-orange colored areas on the page, those about 37 per shift. And then in the orange areas, the office workers are a standard Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 type schedule.
That's
So
And that's
that's approximately 30,
That's
correct?
approximately
Yeah.
30.
So, the
full
one,
shift.
sorry for the confusion. The 148 is the total employment of the whole facility, not at any one time.
So if a proviso for, as a condition of approval, would you be open to, maximizing your, occupancy load to match what you're saying it's going to be? So in other words, let's use 100. So if there's going to be 100 people in the building at any one given time, and that includes the shift people and that includes the office people, would you agree to a proviso that says you cannot occupy the building with more people?
I don't see why we would have a concern about that. Yeah, that would be fine. Again, the number is estimated right now at would be about 67, right? 37 on shift plus during the day, during the week would be the 30 in the office area.
Right, so that's 97 people. So
67. Sorry, Mr.
67
So
on the shift.
37 on shift. And there's no overlap in shifts. So one ends and the next comes in.
Okay.
And so 37 on shift, shift changes out. And
100 would give us a little more flexibility.
Well,
Yes,
that was going
yes.
to be my next comment. If in fact, we built in, and put that number, established that number at 125 or 130 or whatever. I'm just thinking ahead, as a condition of approval, would you be open to making that your occupancy?
yeah, and I
load?
think it would probably be safest to contemplate that there might be the literal overlap of shifts, somebody leaving while others are coming in, perhaps a safety meeting, et cetera. So we might contemplate it in the ballpark of 100, 130.
Or maybe that total like that.
Maybe we go to the 148.
Whatever you think is I mean, I think
Yeah, we have.
we don't think 140 people are occupying it for 8 hours, but to Holly's point, if there's overlap and there's.
So that's a great segue into my next question. Because you have the large cafeteria there and you have the capabilities of bringing people in, would you be doing in-house training there where there'd be times where, potentially there may be 200 people?
Well, our plan for this phase of the project is a total employee count of about 174. So that would be our maximum that we're contemplating at this time until we do an additional expansion.
All right, so, yep. Go ahead, Sarah.
Well, I'm just thinking these numbers are pretty low based on their fixture counts that they're proposing. So I guess the 14 bathrooms, maybe the capacity should be based on the number of fixtures being proposed. If you have a larger number.
Yeah, we'll get to that in deliberation. We'll look at the, that's right.
Well, I mean, I know the general number is we're about, it's in 44% on water closet and 35% of what's required. And we're at 1.1%. So even if you say it's 150, it's 2%. It's to your point, Sarah, it seems like there's a lot of capacity built into what we've proposed.
Understood,
Yeah.
understood that, and that's a great question that Sarah had. And this goes to the design team mostly. What did you base your fixture counts on? Did you base it on that 174 people that we just talked about?
Actually, much more than that. We designed it for what we felt was reasonable, given the size of the building, but it's well above what, at the time we were designing the building, it wasn't clear as to how many employees there would be. We knew there would never be 6,000. But once we knew it was only going to be 174 total, we felt like the facilities that we provided for the count and the placement of them were going to be more than adequate.
And you considered table 403, P 403 of the Philadelphia Plumbing Code when you did that
Yeah.
calculation?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, well, Mike?
How many truck drivers are there at one time? Pick up, drop off? Do the trucks are they allowed to stay overnight?
Typically, no, not overnight. There's no overnight parking. We typically have, we'll have several hundred trucks during the course of a day. And again, they will have access to facilities, as well as the ability for us to, should there be busy times, prior to holidays, et cetera, then we can always bring in temporary facilities for them. But there are facilities designed to provide.
And all the truck drivers? Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
they do have an area in there for truck drivers, yeah, yep, yeah. Any other follow-ups from the board? Is there anything that the appellate team would like to add? Any additional comments or closing comments before we enter into deliberations?
I'll just say if you want us to do the calculation based on our fixtures versus the count, we can get back to you on that to add to the proviso if you think that's helpful.
We'll do that.
You'll do it for us.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're deliberating.
Okay. We're happy to do the math. So
Okay.
thank you.
With that, Mr. Kelly, can you show us off record, please?
Yes, Chair.
Gabby, you can suspend recording and just relax. We're going to go back and talk a little bit, and we'll be back shortly.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Recording, please. Mr. Kelly, please show us back on record.
Yes, Chair.
I'm sorry, the biggest board member's not here and I missed him. Kick us off, Gabby.
Chair. Yes, Chair.
Today being December 4th, 2025, we continue to hear case number MI 2025-007-349 for 3144 West Passyunk Avenue. Board, what say you?
Motion to approve?
I second that motion.
There's a motion on the floor and seconded to approve the variance request. Any other questions or comments on the motion? We'll proceed to vote individually. Mike Bellata,
Approve.
Mike Ingram. Approve. David Hoffmeister,
Approve.
Brian Gilbert,
Approve.
Sarah Poindexter,
Approve.
and let the record show chair votes aye. By unanimous decision, your appeal is granted. Just so you understand, our recommendation will go to the commissioner for his final approval and signature. And you should hear something back from board's administration within about a week or two. If you don't hear anything back from boards within a 2-week period, please contact them.
Thank you very much. Happy holidays. Appreciate the time and consideration.
Any questions? Russ?
Should I have any?
Just the couple things that we noted as far as the single user bathrooms, take a look at that, the design team. And for your future possible expansion, please, it's in your best interest to prepare for that now.
Absolutely.
So,
Thank you very much.
thank you. With that, that concludes the testimony for case number MI 2025-007-349. Mr. Kelly, please show us off record.
Yes, Chair.
Gabby, you can suspend the recording until the appellates have cleared the area, and then we'll continue with our meeting. All right. Moving on to item number 80 of the agenda, plumbing code updates. Sorry, here's another month and I didn't complete them. They have to get done this weekend. The chief code official laid the law down to me. So I will be sending them out. You will see them next week for sure, guaranteed, or I'm going to lose my happy home here. Item number 9, unfinished business. Does anybody have anything under unfinished business? Wonderful. Hearing none. Item number 10 on the agenda, new business. The only order of business I have on the new business is I sent the hearing schedule out to everyone. Deb, has that already been published? The hearing schedule for 26 has already been published, right? Right. Please review that at your convenience, and if you have a conflict, please let me know. I know Bill usually takes the summer off, so. Right, so take a look at that and please let me know if there's any conflicts there for anything. Okay,
I typically ask for July to be pushed, but it's before the 4th this year, so I'm.
it is, right. Does anybody else have anything under new business? Anything else under new business, new business, new business? Yes, sir.
Next name.
What's that? Okay, no, we can stay on record. I'm fine with that. I've been in contact with the mayor's office regarding the replacement board member. I was down at an in-person meeting Friday, the 21st. And this came up with the mayor, and they expect a decision by the second or third week of December. They basically, the mayor's office basically told me that because things are so busy, they, it wasn't high on their priority list. They did ask me, does it pose a problem? I said, it doesn't pose a problem with us, the board, except that I want to make sure that it's fair to the appellate, because right now we have an even board. So, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, the law states that if we are a tie, it's an automatic refusal. Is that correct? Yes.
So my recommendation would be to treat it as a denial of the appeal. So the standard is that they have to show by a preponderance, 51%, that it's that it should be granted. If it's 50-50, that's not enough.
Right. So that was the only concern that I expressed as far as timing to the mayor's office, that, should we reach a stalemate, should we come to a 3-3 tie vote on a particular recommendation, that it may adversely affect the appellate. And that was, I expressed that, on behalf of the entire board. That's all I'm willing to say on record. Any other questions, new business? Anybody else have anything on new business? All right, hearing none. Item number 11, our next scheduled meeting is Thursday, January 8th, 2026, right here. Same bat time, same bat channel.
The first wouldn't work?
Huh?
The first wouldn't work?
No. No.
Absolutely.
You're probably going to be.
No, you'll be here.
I would be here. You're going to be
Turn the lights
somewhere
on.
warm if I had to guess. Before we adjourn, I want to say to everyone, thank you for this year. Thank you for all you've done. I say this every opportunity I get. I've probably had, over the last month and a half, 4 in-person meetings at the mayor's office and 3 at the department. And I say this every time. You folks do a wonderful job. Great job. It's no one person that does everything. We all pull together. We all push together. I appreciate that. I appreciate your support. I appreciate what you do. You people blow me away each and every time that we get together. I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, or whatever holiday it is you celebrate. I hope you enjoy it. And I personally thank each and every person again for all that you've done for the city this year, for all that you've done for the department this year, and all that you've done for me. Thank you very much.
Back at you all.
Thank you.
With that, the time being 10:50, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All right. Yeah, Gabby, please show us off recording, please.